Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. So, we did an exclusive over on Patreon that's also going to be going up on the YouTube memberships, all about finding out your life path number in numerology. And there's going to be a lot more videos coming along those lines too, with looking deep into a lot of the mysteries of what we might take as things so mysterious in the Western world, Hermeticism, Gnosticism, Kabbalah, all the uh, all the things that were hidden purposely from people. That in some other places, some other times, were just openly taught, and it was allowed to be shared by again uh, those that weren't under the power of the dark matrix fully.
Yeah, so we're putting it out there.
We're in a new yuga. It is a new yuga, and we do have some earthquake activities. Here you go. We're also testing out this backup to the backup to the backup computer because it took 4 hours to get things uploaded this morning, and now it's on two different computers. Now we're trying a third to see if there's any improvement. It's been crazy, crazy with technology lately. And also things, dying and batteries draining. It's just been really, really weird.
It's been odd.
It is, and it seems like a lot of you guys are having that problem too. Now, this is showing, this USGS, they're showing a 6.5 quake, 9 kilometers deep. This is 162 kilometers east of the island of Guadalupe. And what you can see is that this is on a fault line, so that's not unexpected. Other sources are calling this a 6.8, which is pretty close to a 7 and, a major earthquake. The other thing that's really interesting is consciousness, human emotions. And I've noticed this, I've shared this with you guys years ago. When I was researching historical earth change events, I happened to notice a lot of times they happen near places that were having wars ongoing. And yeah, our energies, our fears, our anxieties, when we get aggravated, irritated, it has a big, big effect, I think, on the weather, on the literally Mother Earth's tectonic plates. Because what else do we have going on in this area? We have a massive fleet now, U.S. fleet in the area. You have Venezuela waiting to see if it's going to be invaded any moment. I kid you not. I kid you not. There are so much tensions going on. And then we add to that the fact that we have over here in Jamaica, it's going to be a historic landfall by a Cat 5 hurricane. This is all happening in this area. Is that connected? My guess is yes.
There's a lot of dots there and they're close together, so yeah.
Yeah, we see Trinidad and Tobago over here. And this is right again off the coast of Venezuela. And Venezuela was calling out this island, Trinidad and Tobago, and basically saying you're allowing yourself to be a base for U.S. imperialism. Not to mention everything that's been going on with Venezuela having the largest known proven oil reserves in the world. Again, we don't really need to be on oil. And if we're not on oil, that doesn't really mean that we have to have, solar and wind everywhere, just dotting the deserts. No, no, there's other technologies cleaner and freer that we are being kept away from. And Guyana, do you guys remember we were talking about Guyana? We were talking also about the potential of annexation of part of Guyana by Venezuela. This is going back about maybe 9 months or so ago. And so, yeah, it's all pretty tense. What's happening is again, those the gods of war. Let's just call them the gods of war. They're doing what they do. They're lining up their armies. They're moving their chess pieces, their risk pieces, and putting things into place. So you got to wonder. I mean, is this earthquake totally natural? Is it just simply also perhaps a byproduct of consciousness and play? Or is there any technology involved? So, yeah, a lot are reporting this as a 6.8 strong, relatively shallow. My gosh, this is one of the most beautiful places in the world. Just an amazing string of beautiful islands with, for the most part, very, very nice, kind people there, living very, very simple lives. I checked and I did not find anything in event mode as far as buoys over at NOAA. But what can you see? Well, you can see the path of a Category 5 hurricane. And again, it's going to just go right over Jamaica and eastern Cuba. And there's been flooding galore all over already. Hurricane Melissa strengthens to Cat 5. This is going to be a long duration event with the potential to drop months of rain, maybe years, certainly years in some places, in a matter of a couple days. Yes, 18 years ago, American and Israeli scientists worked on efforts to steer hurricanes. If we could steer them, we could deter them. In fact, 1947, Project Cirrus was the first attempt to modify a hurricane that we know of and that they've admitted to. A collaboration of General Electric Corporation, the U.S. Army Signal Corps, and the Office of Naval Research and the USS Air Force. This literally did steer a hurricane, and it ended up causing damage going into Georgia, if I remember right. We've talked about that before. By the way, 19 inches of rain in Lake County, Florida. Yeah, you haven't even been hit yet. And, again, there's tons of rain. 19 inches of rain. Holy cow. You're just seeing things getting pounded when it comes to the floods around the world. And people have a lot of need of ankle lymph drainage. Yeah, that's not a good sign, by the way. Not a good sign. Here you can see Boca Raton, Florida, some major flooding ongoing. This again is this morning, last night, nearly 20 inches of rain. This is Eustis, Florida, about an hour away from Orlando, very close to some of our dear friends. I wonder how everybody's doing. I think they're doing okay. Um, yeah, it's just been wild. It has been wild. This person says their entire town was underwater last night, and much of it is still underwater. 13 inches of rainfall in less than 4 hours without any warning to prepare. The Titusville mayor declares the local state of emergency after the flash flooding. Yeah, pray for the people in Jamaica and everybody else in the path of these storms. There's been a ton of them. And we have a very bright, slow moving, what they're calling a bolide. In other words, they're just saying it's nothing but a rock, natural meteorite, entering the Earth's atmosphere, illuminating the skies over Moscow, Russia, capital of Russia. And, they're all over the place all the time. They always seem to do the same thing. They seem to come in and they seem to do a little poofed, and then they seem to just disappear. Occasionally, they look like they impact, but that's rare. A lot of times they just go over the horizon and people say that they impact. Other times it looks like they're literally perhaps ships that get taken out by some sort of energy weapon.
I mean, it's pretty wild lately.
It's been crazy. This is Budapest. Budapest. This isn't Hungary. Look at that. I mean, they all look pretty much alike. And this one is saying that it hit the ground somewhere. But, unless you find the wreckage and pieces, how do you know it just didn't jump to hyperspeed? You have this man, he claims he used the CIA technique of remote viewing to look inside 3i Atlas, claims it's a ship housing 5 million dormant Draco soldiers inside of it. Yeah, that's enough to ruin your day.
Yeah, that would be a bad day, wouldn't it?
So, yeah, he says they're all dormant. They're just waiting to be awakened. They're all in pods. There are ships with dormant beings in pods. We've learned the truth through Star Trek, Star Wars, The Matrix, all these movies, people are either channeling or they're being allowed to give humanity some info so that, people just don't have heart failure in massive numbers, but they still probably will have heart failure in massive numbers when the realization hits them. But yeah, we don't feel that there's Draco inside of Three Eye Atlas. But yeah, there are reptilians underneath LA, DC, London, New York, Paris, and many other places.
Yeah, it's a mess out there.
It is. Now there's an earthquake, and look what this guy does. Protects the baby. Earthquake, everything's shaking. Look at that. Do you want to talk about a guardian angel?
It's sweet, but AI has ruined a lot for me lately because I look at this and the family pet saves the baby from whatever, and I don't know. I hope it's real. It's sweet. I believe animals could absolutely do that.
Yeah, and I do believe that absolutely. In many cases, they are guardians and protectors, and in other cases, they just simply they like to dance.
Oh, now they're cute. They're learning from Mama. That's cute.
Yeah, we are here to laugh and dance and jump and play, and not to slave away for some arrogant, egotistical, rich bastards, just to put it simply and plainly.
Yeah, plainly.
Absolutely. So, thank you for being part of the change that's changing and awakening the world. Look forward to your comments. Hopefully, you guys could hear this well. We have the volume up totally as far as it'll go, and hopefully, everything sounds good. Thanks for your feedback. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.